All right. Hello, everybody. Jake Chapman here with you. Chrissy Birdsall as well. It's Magic Game Day. We had some slow technical difficulties, I guess, getting up and running, but it's 5:02. So, I mean, come on. We've been near perfect all season long. And you know what? It's a weekend day, and you just never quite know what kind of gremlins are going to pop up. But we are here. We're good to go. Magic looking for a second consecutive win after a very businesslike smacking of the Brooklyn Nets. That would have been Thursday night here at Kia Center. This will be the second of a 4-game homestand heading into the All-Star break. We'll see Milwaukee on Monday and then again on Wednesday. Tonight, it's the Utah Jazz. Magic back in December 20th, I believe it was. Took overtime, and it took a Desmond Bane game winner, and it took 32 points on 13 of 21 shooting from Dez to win that game. But a dub's a dub, and at this point of the season, you look 0 dubs in the eye. So Magic 26-24, 15-8 here at home, and the Utah Jazz. I have a feeling we'll see Jaren Jackson Jr. because he's not on the injury report. I think we'll see Keontae George as well, one of the budding young stars in this league, listed as probable. He's got an ankle injury. But Christy and I were just watching him at 4:30 going through his warm-ups. He looked like he was pretty good. It's like the first, maybe the best player on their team and the first of any Utah Jazz player on the floor. Take note, kids. Get there early. Get your work done. And maybe you could be as good as Keontae George one day. But Utah is, regardless of who plays tonight, it is a very high-paced team. They come in, where are they? Third in the league in pace. And so no matter what, transition defense will have to be locked in tonight. It'll be a track meet, and the Magic hoping to continue what they've been doing since Jalen Suggs return, which is generating points off turnovers. Last 7 games, Chrissy, third in the league in points off turnovers, and the last 7 coincides with Jalen's return. Over 22 points a game off turnovers. Utah, a team that will cough it up, so Jamal Mosley always talking about that sprint game. Hopefully tonight, Magic able to get out and run on the break, generate some turnovers, and hopefully generate some early offense against this team.
Yeah, and when you look back on the game on Thursday, it was really that defense that set the tone for the game. Coach Mosley said that after, that it was all about the defense, and it was started with Jalen Suggs. It started with Anthony Black. It started with those guards, getting Brooklyn's guards uncomfortable and then getting out and running from there. And that's what we've been saying for the last couple of weeks, is that they got to get back to that Magic mindset of getting those stops, getting out and running in transition. And it was a game that it wasn't all perfect. I mean, the three-point shooting is definitely a point of emphasis for this team going forward. I think they were only 9 of 32 on Thursday, but they didn't need to have a great three-point shooting night because they did so well defensively. I mean, you look back, they had over 10 blocks, over 10 steals. Jalen Suggs was doing literally everything on the floor to help his team out, and they came away with a very strong win, and a must needed win, honestly, coming off of that road trip, knowing that they had 4 games at home here, 4 very winnable games, and getting that first one out of the way, a little bit breath of fresh air heading into tonight against Utah.
Yeah, a get-right win, to be sure, and one of the things that we've been sort of harping on and that they did was they started early. It was 27-19 after 1. Magic defense from the opening tap, and that is something that I don't care if you're playing Utah or Denver or Oklahoma City, you need to have the requisite energy at the start of games. And we talked so much about how the Magic, Jeff Weltman talked about it the other day, how the Magic generate offense off of their defense. That needs to be the bedrock. Night in and night out, home, road, injuries, not injuries. The Magic need to defend up to their capabilities, and they did so the other night. You mentioned Jalen Suggs, obviously his first career triple-double. He was an absolute monster, bull in a china shop, but the good kind, as we always say. The guy shooting right now on the floor, Tristan da Silva, that was the most active I've seen his hands in maybe a month. Deflections left and right. You don't see it when you look down at his stats. He had scored 2 points. He was credited with 1 steal, grabbed a couple rebounds in 18 minutes. He was, in my opinion, so indicative of what we need to do. Jonathan Isaac was the same thing. J.I.'s stats won't pop off the screen at you. You can impact the game without scoring. You can impact the game without counting stats. The Magic are at their best. I call it handsy. We're aggressive defensively. We're jumping passing lanes, forcing turnovers. But regardless of whether or not we are, getting the whistle, not getting the whistle, we got to be physical night in and night out. And we need to be aggressive, smacking the basketball, crawling into the ball, as Coach Mosley says, and disrupting offense. And Jalen is maybe the best disruptor in the league. But we've got a whole lot of other guys, Anthony Black, Tristan Da Silva. Now we'll see Javon Carter, the newest Magic addition. We'll talk about him in a little bit. That is the DNA of this team, is if you want to come run your offense down here at Kia Center, it's going to feel like you're running in mud. And that is what we did last season. We were able to protect home court and play really suffocating defense in front of the home crowd, and that's what it's got to be night in and night out.
Yeah, and one guy who really brought the juice early was Mo Wagner. He
Yes.
came out. I mean, defensively, he's always had a pretty strong. I saw him take a charge early in that game. But I thought offensively, that first quarter, I believe he had 5 points. And it was a very balanced scoring effort for the Magic after that first quarter. But, man, did he come out and he set the tone for this team. I think it was Jalen Suggs after the game said that, you know, the team was a little bit down at the end of the trade deadline. Losing Tyus Jones is tough. It was tough for the team. It was tough for the locker room. And he said that Mo Wagner was really the guy who picked everybody up and said, it's tough, but you got to go out there. You got to be able to perform. And he set the tone early on the court, but it sounded like he did it off the court as well.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's a reason I call him the Juice Baron and I call Jalen the Juice Man. Like, those two guys, especially here at home, they just feed off the energy of the crowd. Not unlike anybody, or like unlike anybody else on roster, but maybe unlike anybody else that I've seen in my time covering the team. Like, those two guys are so, I don't know if it's being extroverted. I don't want to go too deep into their DNA. Mo Wagner brings it almost no matter what. Like, he likes to talk and he takes charges. That was the first one I believe that he took, that he's taken this season. He was a master at that before he went down last year. But when those guys play like that, and I'm talking about hitting the deck for loose balls, I'm talking about, you know, firing the crowd up, that stuff's contagious. And one of the things we talked about before the game the other night, Chrissy, was guys growing into their leadership roles, communication, how when you're a really young team do you react and how do you communicate with each other when things go wrong, as they did in Oklahoma City and San Antonio, and as they will do. You're going to have bad games. You're going to have bad nights. It's a very long season. How do you bounce back? But who grows into the leadership role? Who's comfortable? Remember the Mosleyism? Conversations are not confrontations.
Yep.
Who's comfortable saying, I thought you're supposed to be in this spot. We'll fix it next time. All that stuff's going to come with time, but you always have to have a couple fire starters, and Mo Wagner and Jalen Suggs are our fire starters, and you just see the difference when they're on the floor on both ends. Specifically, Mo is obviously a more offensive-minded player, and Jalen on the other side. But those two guys, I think, make us complete. And there's a reason that we call Jalen Suggs the heart and soul of the team. And there's a reason that I've always called Mo Wagner the bringer of the juice. And I think you saw that in full form the other night. And you're right. It was a very balanced offensive effort. It's not lost on me that after the game, Coach Mosley mentioned Jalen's point guard, the way he played point and ran point with his 11 assists the other night. And then you look down at Paolo and you go 8 of 13 for 22 points, 5 boards, 4 assists in 31 minutes. That was easy. I mean, that's light work for Paolo Banchero. He can get 23 points like he can wake up with 15, and then he goes from there. If he only has to take 13 shots, probably going to make 8 of them. Right. And so, like, all of what we're asking for, and when we talk about turning defense into offense, it's all to try to lift some of that burden off of Paolo Banchero. And when Jalen's playing offensively the way he did the other night, and you got Mo coming off the bench, and you have that balance, as you mentioned, it just makes things easier on Paolo Banchero, and that's really what we're looking for.
Yeah, and that balance is going to continue as these guys get back, get more comfortable. Mo was saying after the game that it's not a linear process with him coming back off that ACL as he continues to recover from that ACL. And Jalen Suggs, obviously coming back from his injury. I know Coach Mo said after the game they're still feeling it out on his minutes. When he's on the floor, though, he is giving 112% effort. He is giving everything on the court. And you can tell he's increasing his minutes. He's feeling more comfortable out there on both ends of the floor. And then you got Javon Carter coming in, as I'm seeing a ton of comments on the YouTube channel about that. Yeah, it's definitely an interesting pickup. They dropped it last night. Coming in from Chicago, he got waived at the beginning of February. And hearing him talk this morning about just coming in, he feels like he's going to fit right away.
Yeah, he is. He's a defensive specialist. Tyus Jones was an offensive specialist, and Javon Carter is a defensive specialist. The only player, by the way, to be named to the Big 12 All-Defensive Team in 4 consecutive seasons. Only player ever. And he was a 2-time Lefty Driesell Defensive Player of the Year award winner in college basketball. His pro career has seen a couple different stops. Like Chrissy said, he was in Chicago. Let's see, where else was he? He was originally drafted to Memphis. He spent time Also, I don't remember the other teams. I had them a moment ago. But bottom line is career 40% three-point shooter, and he is he's a defensive specialist. He is going he's 41% three-point shooter this season. I think career, I think he's a little bit lower, like 39%. But anyways, he is a 3-and-D guy. He's a veteran. He's 30 years old. I don't think I don't think his addition necessarily means Jace Richardson is, relegated to the bench, especially early on. I think Jace's minutes will be intact for the next couple games. But if there's one thing that I know about backup point guards and about the Orlando Magic in general, he will play before the end of the season. There's more than enough minutes to get a guy like that who is pretty plug and play. I would expect by the All-Star break, he'll understand all of our concepts and he'll have the offense down. And it's a difference. When you add a 24, 25-year-old, there might be, a big ramp up in learning terminology and the system and things like that. When you're talking about a guy who is a veteran in his 8th season in Javon Carter, I think he will learn immediately and very quickly what we're all about, and then defensively he'll be able to make an impact the second he steps on the floor. So I wouldn't be shocked if we see him tonight, but I don't think his addition means that Jace is relegated to the bench and it's just going to be all about development the rest of the way. He's going to have his opportunities as well.
Yeah, he told the media today that he will have his uniform on. So he said if I am ready to go and coach thinks I'm ready to go, that he will go fully. And it was, I believe, Josh Robbins from The Athletic asked Coach Mosley about having that experience coming in and how that helps with the adjustment, because you're just throwing a guy in the middle of the season where you're already getting your processes set, you're getting your rotation set, and then you're just bringing in a new guy. And Coach Mosley said that having that experience is going to help a lot with not only just understanding the coverages, understanding the game plan, but just knowing the game and knowing the team a little bit more. But he said it's got to go back to those habits, the fundamentals, going in the film room, seeing it in practice. So I'm going to be curious to see if we'll see any part of Carter tonight, even if it's just for a few minutes. But what he comes in for, you said 3-and-D, and that's been 2 points of emphasis for this team. Even from the beginning of the season, the three-point shooting has been that point of emphasis. It's why you bring in a guy like Desmond Bane at the beginning of the season. And then defense, as the season has gone on, that's been a point of emphasis for this team because that was always a strong suit, and it's backed off a little bit. Now it's starting to get back up to the level that Coach Mosley wanted to see at the beginning of the year. But now you bring in a guy that's just going to really solidify it.
In basketball, defensively, you're only as strong as your weakest link, and especially in the postseason. And so I think if you're going to play for this team, then you need to hold your own on that end of the floor. And so Javon Carter, I think that's the sort of the baseline. Javon Carter is going to show up on that side. And then any offense that he provides, I think it's probably, there we go. We're checking the media room. I think we're all good. We're going to go to Coach Mosley here in a moment. I think anything that he provides offensively, aside from knocking down wide open threes, which he's shown he's been able to do throughout the course of his career, will be gravy. Here, it was Memphis, drafted in Memphis, and then Phoenix, then Brooklyn, then Milwaukee, Boston, and then Chicago for Javon Carter. So journeyman, I think, is apt. 38% career three-point shooter, but in 23 games with Chicago so far this year, 41%. So a guy who you would hope would be able to step in, knock down open threes on that end, and then hopefully fits in perfectly on the defensive side of the ball. Javon Carter, the Magic's newest addition. 6 foot, 200 pounds, 30 years old in his 8th season out of West Virginia. And as we mentioned, a prolific defensive career when he was in college. The Utah Jazz, this is a KYP game. You want to talk about learning systems and all of that. Jaren Jackson Jr., if he plays tonight, they're going to say, just go stand in the post and look tall, and we'll dump you the ball. Utah's lost 13 of 16. They're a fast-paced team, as we mentioned, but it's a lost season for them. They've got some stake in not winning a whole lot of games because their pick, I believe, is top 8 protected, so they want to make sure that they keep that for next year. I wouldn't be shocked if Jaren Jackson Jr. shuts it down soon.
Coach, when you went and looked back at it, what did your group do so well to get off to?
The tone for our defense right away. Us sharing the basketball, moving it from side to side. I thought we did a really good job of getting downhill and allowing those defensive stops to create early, easy baskets for us.
It was announced this morning that Jace is going to be in the dunk contest. What's the embrace for that?
No, I think it's really cool. I really think it is great for him. His dad did it for years. I think just being able to, carry that on. He's been in the gym working on some stuff lately, so it's fun to watch, fun to see his teammates rallying behind him doing it. So I think that's really big time for him.
When we talk about the fast starts, the starting group still has a positive net rating, even the group that's starting now. Yeah. What does the bench need to do to kind of maintain that and finish that first quarter strong, or finish those moments strong to maintain that momentum?
Yeah, just continue to be intentional when they step in the game, understand what's going on out there and how teams are guarding and how we need to continue to guard. But just being confident in what they're doing once they step on the floor. Lineups are changing, different rotation, different guys out there at different times with different groups. But just continue to stay focused and lock in on the defensive end of the floor.
Finishing on a positive note, before we go to the All-Star break, 3 more of these games, just kind of what is the overall message for the coaching staff to the team about, hey, let's finish this off on a strong note and take this positive energy to the second half? You
just said it. That's exactly it. And then, just focus in one game at a time. That's the biggest piece. You take care of Utah tonight, and then you look at Milwaukee on the back end. But for the real point is just take care of Utah tonight and take care of home.
Coach, as Black History Month continues, what does it mean to you to be an African-American head coach in this league?
It means so much because of the people that came before me that have given me this opportunity to be here and sitting on the stage and coaching this group of young men and to lead this organization. I'm not here without those that have sacrificed before me to get to this position. So it means so much to be able to recognize it and know exactly why I'm sitting on this stage here and being able to coach this team.
Coach, you got, with their addition of Jaren Jackson Jr., you're dealing with a couple of all-star caliber big bodies out there. What makes them so difficult to deal with, and how do you have to approach a game plan when planning for those guys specifically?
Well, wondering who's going to play first, not knowing how that's going to look, that's a big portion of the game plan, not knowing who's going to be in, who's going to be out, the minutes they're going to play, different rotation that he's going to throw out there. But just with that size and length, they create a problem both offensively and defensively. Defensively first, those guys being at the rim, protecting the rim, rebounding the basketball. But offensively, what Lowry is able to do, for just his shooting ability, and then Jaren Jackson being able to be at the rim, finishing around the rim, they create a big-time threat. And so our ability just to follow the game plan and know exactly what we need to do with whoever they put out there on the floor.
Can you zeroing in even more, just really specifically on Jaren, what in your mind does Jaren do for this team?
He does so much. Rim protection, rebounding, a scoring threat, able to knock shots down on the perimeter as well. So I think he just provides just an anchor, down in the paint on both sides of the ball.
You've been asked this a lot, but we're not here every day. Looking at just your game log on your defense this year, just such swings. Yeah. What's been the reason for the variance?
I think different lineups, different rotations. You talk about Franz and Jalen being out for a ton of games, and those are some of our two best defenders in a lot of ways. And so them not being in the lineup, it starts with our guard play, how much we're containing and controlling the basketball. That's a big piece, and it's changed over time. So the more that we can contain the basketball, which we did in our last game, and that's you see what happens. But then the other side of it is how do we protect the paint better, and that starts with being able to contain the ball. But once that thing gets downhill and it's at the rim, do we do our job taking charges, going vertical, or blocking shots? I think those are very important keys for us.
You guys did a phenomenal job against Brooklyn, slowing down Michael Porter Jr. Keontae George is a guy that can get hot and, really be hard to stop when he gets into a rhythm. Just kind of what is the game plan for this Magic team to kind of slow him down like you guys did, Michael?
I think it starts early pickup points, changing coverages, not letting him see something of similar dose all night long. Our bigs have to be involved as well because he does a great job in the pick and roll. We've got to do all of that, while not fouling him because he does a great job of drawing fouls and getting to the free throw line. So different people on him, different coverages, and he's got to see bodies everywhere he is on the floor.
Coach, how are you doing today? Have you had a chance to talk with Javon Carter about how his role could look and kind of get him acclimated a little bit with the rest of the team?
Yeah, I spoke with him this morning. Going through shoot around, just talking to him about like as being a leader through his years in the league, his toughness, his tenacity, his voice, his presence, his ability to guard 94 feet. Seeing the young guys that we have on our team, can he be that example? Because he's been with different teams, knowing exactly what it means to stay on a team, be on a team, and recognize how you can contribute in any way. And that's what we've talked about with him, and just continue to stay ready, whenever that number is called.
Anything else? All right, thank you.
Thank you all. Appreciate it.
All right, Jamal Mosley, welcome back to the Perch. Jake Chapman, Chrissy Birdsall here with you up on the radio deck, getting set for our broadcast tonight. We'll have the pregame show at 6:30 on our flagship station, 96.9 The Game here in Central Florida. Magic taking on the Utah Jazz. You can always stream us on the Orlando Magic app, on the iHeart app, or if you're outside of the listening area, check us out on SiriusXM or on NBA League Pass Audio. Jamal Mosley talking about a little bit about Javon Carter's role. Jamal spoke this morning and talked about Javon Carter's role as well. Javon Carter spoke this morning at shoot-around, so a little bit repetitive there. But as we started to dive into the scouting report for the Jazz, we have no idea how this is going to look tonight. They had a skeleton crew for their last 2 games as those trades were going through. We didn't see Lauri Markkanen when we were in Utah, and he is an absolute load, 9th in the league in scoring. He's over 7 foot, and he's got the ball in his hands. They can move him inside. They can move him outside. The emergence of Keontae George, who we did see, and he balled. It was 27-9 he had in that overtime win for the Magic back on December 20th in Utah. Kid's an absolute stud, and so I thought Coach Mosley his keys to defending George were specifically noteworthy, those early pickup points, which is one thing, by the way, and Coach Mosley mentioned this morning. Javon Carter is here when he's on the floor to pick up 94 feet. Right. And so he's going to burn out whoever is bringing the ball up. So maybe we'll see him tonight, and they'll just say, hey, go check Keontae George and make him work to get the ball across half court as you get a look at Javon Carter taking his first warm-ups in a Magic. I'm assuming he's wearing the Magic jersey. I'm not sure, though. He's wearing the warm-ups right now. But slowing down Keontae George will be a huge key tonight. He is 21st in the league in scoring, still just 22 years old, an emerging star, and he is a guy that you need to have those early pickup points. That pick-and-roll defense is going to be big. Throw those change-ups at him, different looks, and make sure he's seeing a crowd every time he starts to penetrate. So Markkanen, I think, is sort of the centerpiece of everything. George is the one that if he gets rolling, then I think Utah will be in the game.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing about that, too, was he mentioned defending without fouling, because you go back to that game on December 20th, and right at the end, Anthony Black fouls up at the three-pointer, and that almost cost the game. And he's very good, George, of drawing those fouls. I went back and I actually watched that play, and he will lean into it. And for a 22-year-old to have that much court awareness, to know to lean in, draw the foul if he can, especially in a pivotal moment such as that, that's going to be really important for this team, is to try and mitigate those fouls, limit them as much as possible when you're guarding a guy like George, but also defending at a level to not get him easy baskets as well.
Yeah, and the free throw aspect is huge. Keontae George, this is the 3rd season. First 2 seasons, he averaged 3 free throws a game and then 4.3 free throws a game. Now 7.2 free throw attempts per game. So you're right, he has learned how to play that game. And it's something that we've seen Paolo develop. I think Franz Wagner's gotten better at it. The best players in this league all play that game. And sometimes too much. Like Luka Doncic drives me nuts. Jimmy Butler, you've heard me. I get fired up about that when it feels unethical, right? When it feels the old Harden stuff where you're throwing yourself around. But the bottom line is AB was out of position on that play. And if you hit somebody with a pump fake and they leave their feet, then you got them where you want them. So Keontae George learning to play that game, and I think it's a huge key. You're right, defending without fouling. It's always a big key with us, but specifically against his team. And you got to watch Markkanen in that regard as well. Could you put Markkanen on the line? He's an 89% free throw shooter. It's automatic. It's a Utah team that I mentioned. It's, pace oriented. I also mentioned that, they've got a whole bunch of new additions from Memphis. Jaren Jackson Jr. surely isn't up to speed. But Utah most of the season, they'll run a pick and roll here and there. They're just trying to get out and scoot and get offense before your defense is set. So regardless of whether or not, he knows the entire playbook, sometimes basketball is really simple and you don't need that much prep. Just because they have a whole bunch of new personnel, like these are pro players, and that doesn't mean that it's going to be a wash of a game for them. You're going to have to go out and defend well against this team, specifically because you know that they can absolutely fill it up. And it's a KYP game. It's a know your personnel game. At the very least, if you see guys from Memphis like Vince Williams or John Conchar play tonight, extended minutes, or maybe some of the guys that you haven't seen a ton of, some of the Utah depth guys, you got to make sure you're locked in on the scouting report because every one of these guys can hurt you different ways. I look at Isaiah Collier, for instance. 2 games ago, it set a Utah Jazz franchise record, 22 assists he had in that game. He's their backup point guard, but he's thrust into the starting role because George was injured and because half the team had been traded to Memphis. So it feels like a little bit of a trap game, but I also think if we just lock into what we did to Brooklyn the other night, then we're going to be all right.
Yeah, and I think it helps having your same group go through the trade deadline.
Yeah.
At least you have a little bit more of your set rotation. You have your set starts. You know what you need to do. Whereas this Utah team, there is a lot of moving parts. And you mentioned they're pro players. They can pick things up quickly. But this is really might be one of the first or few times that this group in Utah has played together. And that's going to be an adjustment for them no matter what. I mean, you heard Mosley talk about it over the last couple of weeks of getting Mo Wagner back, Jalen Suggs back, eventually when Franz comes back, that even with these guys that have played on the same team for years, when you're coming back from an injury or you're refitting into that rotation, it's going to get a little clunky. So for the Magic, you have to take advantage of that, especially in the start. They did a great job against that in Brooklyn where they were able to get up early. They got to be able to do it again tonight.
Another City night. Magic 2-0 with the City Court down in the City Edition Uni, so we got that going for us. And 4-3 on Saturdays. So
There you go.
that?
Always good play on Saturday.
Always got to throw that in there.
Always.
This is game number 51. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
26 up, 24 down, and essentially half the season without Franz Wagner now. This
25.
is Franz played 26 games, so this will be the 25th without him. Wow. How about that? And to be 2 games above 500, and how many games has Jalen played? This will be his 31st game of 51. I mean, I think you would expect to be maybe a few more games, and I think the defensive slippage is certainly something to keep an eye on. But Jamal just said, like, we've been missing. I don't think I've ever heard him say that. Our 2 best defenders. He kind of said point blank, like, those are our 2 best defenders, and they've missed a combined 50 games or something like that.
Right, and it allows for a good opportunity for the bench to get involved as well. I know Mosley was talking about them being intentional, especially when they come in at the start of those games.
It's a big buzzword this year, isn't it?
Intentionality?
Intentionality, and yes.
It's a big word.
Because I've heard Jamal say it about 10 times, and I've heard Jalen say it about 40 times.
Yeah.
And so, which I like about Jalen. He's listening because he repeats the buzzwords, the Mosley-isms.
That's
Anyways,
always
sorry,
good
I
to
cut you
hear.
off.
But this bench, this is a group that came in at the beginning of the season, and I've said this a few times with Jonathan Isaac down there on the court because he had said it in training camp that this depth was going to be a strong suit of this team.
Yeah.
And they didn't expect all these rotations to happen early, but it's allowed some players like Anthony Black to get more involved with the team. Obviously, we'll see a little bit more of Jace Richardson. But I looked at that bench, the bench scoring, and I know offense isn't everything. You talked about Tristan, what he was able to do off of the ball, but they're 25th in points per game with the bench. In the month of January, they're 27th in points per game. Just that bench unit. Yes.
I know.
Our bench unit. And that's going to be something that I think is going to be really key moving forward because you get a guy like Franz back that'll probably move Anthony Black to the bench. So that allows a little bit of those scoring numbers to come up. But you got to see who else is going to step up in this group. Is it going to be Tristan? Is it going to be J.I.? Is it going to be Carter?
It's going to be Mo Wagner. It's one
Wagner.
guy. I think that's part of the rate because you're right. Like depth and defense, obviously, was sort of the calling card, so we'll end off on this. Mo Wagner's return bolsters the bench offensive attack. And then the other point is if we can get some more consistent play from Tristan, spacing the floor, knocking down shots like he was doing at the beginning of the season.
Yep. And
you're right. Once Anthony Black slides to the second unit, everything looks way different. You're talking about 16 points a game, and it's been on the north side of that for about the last month from AB that you'll slide to the bench. So that's going to make a massive difference as well. Real quick before we go, Prying AA asks, why is Goga getting DNPs? There's only so many minutes, guys. Like, Mo Wagner is picking up the backup center minutes right now, and Jonathan Isaac has been playing consistently as of late. Goga's not going to get DNP CDs for the rest of the year, and he needs to stay ready, obviously, but you're to the point where, and I'll throw Penda in the mix as well, because at the very least he plays the 4 and he plays the 4 kind of big. You know, when you talk about the second unit, you only have so many minutes that you can slice up, and short of Wendell Carter Jr. being hurt or in foul trouble, it's Jonathan Isaac and Mo Wagner taking those backup center minutes right now. So Goga's got to stay ready, and when he is on the floor, he needs to impact the game the second he steps on the floor, blocking shots and rebounding, like the Magic are always asking for from their centers. She's Chrissy. I'm Jake. Magic taking on the Utah Jazz. We'll have it for you on 96.9 The Game, our flagship station. Pre-game at 6:30, tip at 7. You can always stream us on the iHeart app, the Orlando Magic app, outside of the listening area, NBA League Pass audio, or Sirius XM as well. Prying says, I'm just grouchy. Sorry, guys. Thank you for indulging me. A couple blue hearts. Prying, it was a very fair question, and if you want to talk to a grouch or a grump, you're talking to the right guy. I am the original grouchy grump. But I'm happy when the Magic win. We did the other night, and we're going to stack another one here tonight. I don't know where we're headed. We're really late. We're going to go down to the floor, watch Jonathan Isaac take warm-ups or something like that, but we appreciate y'all for tuning in, and we will be back on Monday with Milwaukee in town. Have a great night, everybody. Go Magic.
Russia, Colombia, Africa, Caribbean, honeydew. Whipping out Abels, no condiments. From Barranquilla, no argument. She going hard like a gallo. Don't care what they say, hell if I know. I'm chilling with babe with my eyes closed. Got the champagne with my blindfolds. I'm on your flight in Miami, shopping and tripping with Moochie the family. Drop top when I drop down, like the hella savage like I'm Randy. I'm on 1,000, living my life like I don't get no hoots about plan B's. My life something like a Tahoe, yours something like a Camry, yeah. Give the people what they want, cause I got it. I ain't lying. Locked in, I do it just for profit. I ain't lying. Love it how I break it down just like that. I ain't lying. Love it how I run the town just like that. I ain't lying. Love it how I break it down just like that. I ain't lying. Love it how I run the town just like that. I ain't lying.
What's up, guys, and welcome to Courtside Countdown presented by Hard Rock Bet. I'm your host, Kendra Douglas, and thank you for joining me tonight. Tonight, the Magic will go head-to-head against the Utah Jazz, a new look Utah Jazz. We're going to dive deeper into that with the pregame show on Magic Live, the pregame show on FanDuel Sports Network, tipping off at 6:30 with JT and Dante and David and the whole crew, Coach Brian Hill, everyone. The gang's all here, everybody. The gang is all here to get you ready for tonight's game. While you're at it, make sure you guys give us comments, everything. I want to talk to you guys. I'm already looking at some of your comments and what you're saying. Someone said that they've been a little grouchy on here. We don't need any grouch monsters today. The Magic are coming off a win against the Brooklyn Nets, and so they're going to be playing the Utah Jazz. There's some home games still on the board before the All-Star break. So we need all the positive Magic fans to come on here tonight, talk about what you want to see from tonight's game against the Utah Jazz. Talk about, just everything you're hoping to see for this Magic squad heading into the All-Star break. That's the comments I want to see. So make sure you guys give me everything you're looking for. Someone also asked about Franz Wagner. Of course, Franz Wagner is a key piece that's still out nursing some little things here and there. And so it's going to continue to be a thing where we're going to see him soon. That's what we've been told, if you guys paid attention to Jeff Weltman's press conference the other day. So should be exciting. But ultimately, some very fun things happening for the Magic. The Magic adding Javon Carter to the mix, a seasoned veteran guy, a guy that, can play well on defense and give this Magic squad a little boost of what they need. And I think one thing that's going to be good about having him is, again, that veteran presence that we talk about and we love. But this is a guy that's serious. He is down to business. He is serious about the game, and he's seen a lot. He played in Milwaukee for such a good long time. Then Chicago is where the Magic got him. So you see it right there. Welcome to the O, Javon Carter, joining the Orlando Magic for the rest of the season, and should be a good one to see what he can do for this Magic squad and adding some good, strong defense from him. Oh, yes. Bucks Nation 2020. Oh, well, I said Bucks Nation. I hope that's exactly. Here are his season numbers right there before we get into talking about Jace. These are Javon Carter's season numbers so far. Shooting up over 39% from the field. And then, of course, you see it right there, averaging a little bit more than 5 points a game so far this season. I think that he'll definitely be a key piece and a great addition for this Magic squad. Excited, joyous, looking forward to that. Okay, I'm getting some comments. One comment from Lewis saying, I'm looking for the energy level to stay at 100% after our win on Thursday. Completely agree with you. That energy that you saw against the Brooklyn Nets, you got to see it tonight. I think that this is a gritty, young Utah Jazz team. Just added Jaren Jackson Jr., so that's going to be a factor as well. Also available tonight is Keontae George. That's going to be a factor as well. So this is a gritty team that you're right. They're going to need all the energy on this one. And then Javon can be the team's unk. I love it. He is a veteran. So yes, he could be the team's unk and maybe get these guys in line so they can get back to their defensive ways.
Desmond Bain against the rookie Traore. Suggs, three-point attempt. He got it. He shot the ball so well the other night in Oklahoma City. We thought that might be up. Jalen Suggs inbounds it to Black. Catch and dunk. Some black magic early on a Thursday night in Orlando. Timeout, the Brooklyn Nets. Another look at this, JT.
Bad decision right here. The front on the out-of-bounds play by the young Traore.
In their rookie year, 23-24. Banchero backing in, muscles it in. Man goes down. Banchero says, I'll just throw this one down on top of you. Porter. Ori. Stolen by Suggs. Cross court to Howard. Back to Suggs for the high flying jam.
2 defenders on him, able to get it right back out to Jalen.
And Suggs with the steal. He scoops it up and he heads for the big-time whirling jam.
Just great anticipation again. Beats Yeoman to the spot, kicks it out in front of him, and it's all showtime here.
Now he's got Claxton, step back 3 on its way. Too strong. Rebound to Clowney. Stolen by Suggs, and the jam by Banchero. De Silva. Richardson back to De Silva. Beautiful pass. Banchero to Black. Great effort in there by Noah Penda with an offensive rebound. Wagner again slams it in. Gives Suggs another assist for Mo Wagner in the half court for the Magic in this game.
Great.
Let's talk about Jalen Suggs a little bit more and just what he's been able to do. What did you like about his performance against the Brooklyn Nets the other night?
Yeah, I thought he embodied what Magic head coach Jamal Mosley and president of basketball operations Jeff Weltman want this team to be all about, which is setting the tone on the defensive end and then having it lead to offense. And so you could talk about the fact that Jalen Suggs had a triple-double, had all these highlight plays, but it really started with the over 3 steals, 3+ blocks that he had in this outing that fueled that offense. And you really saw him ignite the crowd, bring that energy into it, and I thought that cut off all hopes the Nets had pretty much from the start.
You know, one of the comments in here said that they want to see the Magic have that same 100% energy they had against the Brooklyn Nets. And I think that's really important going against this team. I was just talking about how young and gritty this Utah Jazz team is. We'll talk about them a little bit later, but I also want to talk about the energy Desmond Bane brought to the group.
Yeah.
I mean, he led the team in scoring in that one. And he's one of those guys that in his last 4 games, he's averaged more than 21 points per game. In the last game he had against the Utah Jazz, 32 points, also scored that game-winning shot. So this should be a really good performance for him as well, too. But ultimately, like that play just now, what are you liking about how he's able to find his shots, even if they aren't created for him personally?
Yeah, I think what we're seeing on this highlight package here, where Brooklyn's whole game plan is clearly run Desmond Bane off the three-point line. And there are other three-point shooters, guys who specialize in that area, that then can't find offense for themselves. But Desmond Bane has been amazing at teams are running him off the three-point line. He's going downhill to the rack to either create a play for himself at the rim or kick out a spray-out pass to a feet-set 3 for others. And so that's where, in my mind, he's been better than advertised. And, you know, his ability to get downhill when the three-point shot isn't there has been superb.
It sure has. 23 points, 4 steals, 4 assists, shooting 50% from the field in the game against the Nets. This is a guy that, you know, he also feeds off the energy as well, too. And that's what I think is so important with this group. But I want to mention, since you're here, what do you think Javon Carter can bring to this group?
Yeah, Javon had the opportunity to speak to him during shoot-around, and all about business. I mean, this guy, just watching him integrate with the team during shoot-around, so focused on making sure he executes things personally. His attitude, his mental makeup fit in very well with this group. All about, you know, performing hard on the defensive end. He was part of a collegiate team that was known for picking up and full court pressing throughout the duration of a game. So that's the kind of attitude he has. Isn't focused on getting his own shot, but at the same time, if the ball comes out to him, you know, he can shoot. He's shot over periods of his career over 40% from 3. So he has the ability to help the Magic in a number of different areas. And I just like his tenacity, mental makeup, that when he comes in as a backup guard, he'll be sure to bring that, even though he is a bit undersized.
I love it, and that's what the Magic they're going to need. And John talked today, so let's hear what he had to say.
You know, how did you go about finding out that Orlando had interest, and what was your reaction to getting an offer to come here?
My agent just called me. I want to say he called me the day of the deadline and was like, Orlando is very interested, and they put down an offer. So it was kind of like a no-brainer for me.
You're with Chicago previously. What do you know about this Magic team and what they're trying to accomplish and where they are in their year?
Young, you know, got a few experienced guys, had some playoff experience, and they play hard, they play together. You can tell it's a good group, that they gel well together. and they take pride on the defensive end.
Knowing how you like to play, do you feel like you'll fit in really well with this group? Like, how do you see yourself fitting in with the group?
Yeah, I think it'll be an easy fit, no problem. Yeah, I'll be able to just plug right in and just do what I do.
You called it a no-brainer. Why is it a no-brainer for you?
They wanted me. You know, I like to go where I'm wanted, so it was a no-brainer for me. You know, talking to Jeff. He still remember my pre-draft workout that I did here in back in 2018. So he was ecstatic to have me, and I'm ecstatic to be here.
When you arrived, what was it like meeting the guys and kind of meeting your new teammates?
It was dope. You know, just getting acclimated with all the guys. You know, I already kind of know them a little bit just from playing against them and stuff. You know, just normal NBA stuff.
What was your reaction to the team signing him, and what can you tell us a little bit about Javon?
Well, just watching Javon over the years, just his level of toughness, professionalism, defensively, he is a tenacious defender, getting after the basketball. He pushes his teammates, you're going to get that from him, and his ability to knock shots down as well. So I think those things are the key pieces, what he brings to the table for us.
You just mentioned his highlights, but is that what you guys want him to do? What do you expect his role to be for this team?
Yeah, I mean, I think that this year, as we continue throughout the year, I think it's going to be more about how we continue to see what the system is about, how he gets acclimated first. But when he steps on the floor, it is going to be the guy that guards 94 feet, that puts pressure on the other guards that he's going against, that's able to distribute and get guys involved offensively, and then when he's open, be able to knock shots down.
And you just heard from Javon Carter and head coach Jamal Mosley as we welcome you back inside the Kia Center. You're watching Courtside Countdown presented by Hard Rock Bet. A man of few words, Javon Carter, but that's okay because a Magic fan's right there. Javon is another bulldog. Javon is going to love playing along Suggs and AB. Javon and Jalen are going to be smothering other teams with their defensive energy. And honestly, that's maybe all we need. We don't need him to do any talking. We just need him to smother other teams with his defense.
Yeah, there was a package last season where Anthony Black and Gary Harris would just kind of give each other a look, and they'd go into a full court press and start doing that to other teams. And I could see if Javon gets enough playing time, starts to build that rhythm with his teammates, a similar rapport which building between him and Black, him and Suggs, etc. Because they have a lot of guys who are willing to sacrifice, provide a lot of high energy on the defensive end. So I think Carter's going to fit right in that regard.
I love that. Some more comments over here as well. We have some fans who are watching the show that are here in the building. So some were asking, it's my first game, or the first game is going to be March 1st. Can you give us any tips? They want tips on getting autographs. I don't have any tips, but it looks like the group chat is helping you out. So Astro Jack, I can't wait for you to
get seats
come.
near the tunnel.
Get seats. That's exactly what people are
saying.
Get
early.
Yes, get here early and get seats near the tunnel. So listen to the fans here that are telling you everything about how to get, I guess, autographs and he said he's in one over here.
Passes, to the Ultimate Lounge experience. All those things help.
All those things help. Okay, I want to get back to some more comments talking about the Magic. People are loving the fact that Javon Carter is here. They are loving the fact that he can add that defensive energy. I think this Magic team really needs. But let's talk about a team that's kind of low in the NBA in defense, in the Utah Jazz. Now, there's some positive things that go with them. You have guys like Keontae George, I just mentioned, he's going to be available, but also you have Lauri Markkanen, and he's a guy that's also a threat. So here's tonight's matchup and what kind of you can see between the teams. Still similar, but this is a team that, that loves to get shots up, and they are definitely top in the league in points per game.
Well, let's hope that they shoot the basketball like they have been for the last 5 minutes during shoot-around where they can't hit the broad side of the barn except the back of our chairs.
Yes.
So if they perform anything like that, the Magic will be in good shape tonight. But in all seriousness, this is a Jazz team that when they have their full barn of horses available to them, could put up points with the best of them. And that's what the Magic are going to see tonight. Markkanen's missed a number of contests. George has been in and out of the lineup, etc. But that's not the case tonight. They're expected to have both those guys. They're expected to have Kevin Love available to them.
Yep.
And Jaren Jackson Jr. is also supposed to be available. So they have a plethora of scoring options led by this guy who already, at 28 years old,
Crazy.
ranks third in NBA history with most three-pointers made by a guy 7 feet or taller. So that just shows you the level of ability he has to stretch the floor, scoring over 27 points a game, giving 7 rebounds. That's a nice piece that the Utah Jazz have to start building around.
Yeah, 8th season in the league for him. You just kind of talked about his scoring ability. He scored 30-plus in 4 games with a season high of 35. So Lauri Markkanen is a guy that, yeah, this Magic squad, they're going to look to kind of contain him. But I'm curious of your thoughts on Jaren Jackson Jr. and what this team is going to look like with him in the mix.
Yeah, he's a guy who's given the Magic problems over the course of his history with Memphis, and now they see him again, thought they were done with him, see them again with the Utah Jazz. And I think, he's another scoring threat. He's a guy who's willing to take the outside shot, but very effective around the rim, both putting the ball in the basket and coming up with blocked shots. So I think they're looking for additional rim protection for when Walker Kessler's not in the lineup or whether he's there or not. And then, helping protect a guy like Lauri Markkanen, Keontae George, who may not be, the most high-level defenders.
I love what you said that because it is a thing where if you look, yes, they're 6th when it comes to scoring points, but they're 30th in defense. So it does seem like they need to figure out a way to bolster that side of their game a little bit.
And all it takes a lot of times with lineups is to have one guy who takes immense pride on that end of the floor. And Jaren Jackson Jr. is a former Defensive Player of the Year, has built that reputation for himself, willing to come over and get weak side blocks. And as you see, when Jalen Suggs steps into the lineup, just how difference one guy can make, I think Jaren Jackson could do that for them.
You're seeing the stats of Keontae George, a young guy that's just also done so well. 2nd season, averaging 24 points, more than 6 assists so far this season. And also I'd like to say is Anthony Black's one of Anthony Black's best friends. So those two, they're always going to go at it when they go head-to-head. But he's a guy that he continues also to improve for this team. They have some weapons on offense, and that's just what it is. They're a young, gritty team, and it feels like every time the Magic play them, they always give them a hard, tough fight.
Yeah, no, because they're going to put up points and find ways to score, and the Magic end up having to be in one of those games, which sometimes are not their style. The Magic want to get stops, they want to get out and run, and the Jazz are so effective at finding ways to put the ball in the basket. They can negate the Magic superpower a little bit, which is getting those steals, getting those stops, and really fueling their offense. So the Magic are going to have to be locked into the game plan. They're going to have, you're going to guard their guys differently, right?
Yeah.
If it's a pick and roll with Lauri Markkanen and Keontae George, you're going to guard it a little bit different than if it's Jaren Jackson Jr. and Keontae George. So those are things that guys are going to have to be aware of. And as the rotations shift, the Magic are going to have to adjust accordingly because let's face it, they made it, trade not only Jaren Jackson Jr., a few other guys in that lineup that could play tonight. And as a result, you don't know what kind of Jazz schemes are going to be run, etc. You really have to play to the personnel and what they've done in the past.
Yeah, 3 new guys added to this squad. I was talking with the Utah Jazz group, and they were saying how they've all talked with them, they're getting to know them, and they're excited to play. But you've been on a roll so far. Let's get to your storylines. I want to see what you got for us today. What does Savage says for our storylines?
Yeah, first off, it's so important to slow down the Utah Jazz, really, negate their offense. Then next, you got to clean the glass and possessions against them. If you start giving them second chances, it's going to be a long night, and they're going to really play the game at a math pace that the Magic don't want to get into. And then lastly, get stops out and run. Get headed in the other direction. The Magic are at their best, as we saw in that Nets game. When the defense is fueling the offense, the Kia Center's rocking, Jalen Suggs is losing his mind, and the whole arena is hyped and excited. Completely different vibe. So that last one, most important. And lastly, it's not mentioned here, but just get off to another hot start. How nice was it, Magic fans, to get out to an early lead and be able to relax a little bit and enjoy a game with the lead? I thought the team enjoyed that too, not having to fight and claw every possession. So that's so important. Get out and play with the lead tonight.
I know. We got spicy Savage says out here today because it's true, though. Like, it's been so difficult watching this team come from behind and then try to, claw their way out of a hole. And so it would be nice if they start off strong on the right foot and get this and take this away. Look, we're going into the All-Star break. Let's start out strong. Some comments? Go ahead.
No, I said no doubt. You know what it's like when you're a team that's struggled to put together wins over the course of the season.
Yeah.
If you fall behind, you can break their spirit a little bit. And I thought that's what the Magic did to the Nets. We saw some inner turmoil fighting amongst their players, arguing over rebounds, passing the basketball. And so that's the things you want to, make contagious. You want to do that to these type of opponents. And on the converse side, if you let them hang around, they start to taste and smell that potential victory. You don't want to give them that opportunity.
No, the Nets need to have a come to Jesus moment. They got their own problems that they're going through, and we all saw it. So some comments that that we see. Bucks Nation says, side note, this is going to be an amazing uniform matchup.
Oh, yes.
I think it really will be, too.
Both
so,
clean.
Yeah,
Good call.
Yeah, good call on that one. I had to mention that one. We got some let's get a big win tonight. Let's go Magic. Keontae and Anthony, former high school rivals. Yes, they are best friends, too.
That's been a Kendra's Corner, right?
Yes, that was a Kendra's Corner when we were in Utah. He loves Keontae. They are great friends. They've been friends for a long time. So whenever you're playing against your best friend, it's going to be a little bit better. It's going to be a little bit more intense.
A little bit more chippy.
Exactly. The quick start was so relieving. Can't lie. Let's go Magic. Love our pickup. Hope double Dell controls the paint tonight. Yes, I would love for Wendell Carter Jr. to have a good night, especially since you just talked about, clean the glass. This is his moment to shine, for sure.
Yeah, and, one of the things a guy like Lauri Markkanen can give up is rebounds at times, can be spaced away, and Dell's going to be put in some tough positions, whether it's Jaren Jackson Jr., Lauri Markkanen pulling him away from the basket. It's going to take all 5 guys really going down low, and hopefully Dell can amass some rebounds tonight, get back in rhythm, and get all 5 Magic starters in double figures tonight. They had 4 of them last game, plus Mo Wagner off the bench. Dell probably would have been in double figures, been close to a double-double if he played the fourth quarter. So if they have to do that, let's get all 5 starters in double figures and do it so importantly for this team by committee.
I love it. I love it. Yes, do everything by committee. That is going to be the message going into this game. By committee, know your personnel, and do everything by committee. So I love that. Before we get out of here, there's a couple games left before the All-Star break. 2 against Milwaukee Bucks. No Cole Anthony, as we know. I feel like we also don't know if we're really going to see Giannis like that as well, too. He was nursing an injury. So how important is it, before we get out of here, how important is it to really set the tone with this game and leading into the Bucks coming here?
No question about it. I thought all 4 of these matchups come down to the same thing, which is if you play Magic basketball, their brand of basketball, reestablish that identity, they'll come away with wins in all these games that we see on the upcoming schedule. So to me, even more so than what the opponent's about, it's about the Magic playing their style and brand and really enforcing that and inflicting that on their opponent. And if you do that, you'll come away with wins in all these. And we'll feel that momentum going into the break. Everything will taste better.
Yes.
And that vacation will be a little bit better, too.
That vacation will be better because when we get out of the All-Star break, we'll head to Sacramento, and that's the start of the road trip, which Daniel.
I don't want to see it.
Yeah, he doesn't want to see it.
I don't want to see it.
He doesn't want to see it.
I'm blocking that out of the
yet.
monitor.
He doesn't want me talking about it, so we're just going to focus on the 2 right here. Milwaukee, that's what we're focusing on, and that'll be a good one. And on top of that, as we get ready for All-Star break, Jace Richardson will be in the dunk contest, so that will be fun to watch him do. And Coach Mosley talked about how exciting it'll be because his dad was in it, and then he said he's been working on dunks already. We see Jace work on dunks literally during practice and all that, so this will be a fun moment for him.
Yeah, I think on top of his dunking prowess, what Jace has is that skill set and personality that he can add flair and flavor to what he does. And we see that whether it be with his pregame dances, his emotions on the sideline. He has a little extra flair to him that I think if he leans into that, could put up some nice scores.
I think it'll be a fun one. So, but first, this Magic team, they've got to finish this homestand off with a bang. And that will do it for us on Courtside Countdown presented by Hard Rock Bet. Kendra Douglas Savage says, thank you guys so much for joining us. Up next, make sure you turn over to FanDuel Sports Network and lock in with Dante Marcatelli and the crew for Magic Live, the pregame show at 6:30 ahead of tonight's game at 7 against the Utah Jazz. We will see you right back here on Monday for the first game of the Milwaukee Bucks with this guy, with Joel Glass. We'll see you on Monday too, right?
Monday, absolutely.
We'll see
As
national TV.
Yes.
But we have this show also.
We do have this show. This show will go on too as well. We love it. All right, thank you guys so much for joining us. We'll see you later.
Ain't no competition, it's against just me, myself, and I. Checking in the mirror, thinking, how could one chick be so fly? I'm from another dimension. Now that I got your attention.